Okay, so welcome everyone to our Study Abroad podcast series. So today we have Sayali, who is from India and now in US working with LinkedIn. So we'll be knowing about her journey from India to LinkedIn. So welcome Sayali.
Thank you, Vishal, for having me here.
So Sayali, please tell us a bit about your KGP days when you first thought that there is something like some countries outside India which can be explored.
So I did not have this notion of going to masters or going abroad at all. That sort of uh, happened organically. So after I graduated from IIT, I went to Bangalore. I worked there for 2 years as a software engineer. There I saw the environment and I saw that there was very, limited growth opportunities for engineers, and I wanted to grow more. So I started asking about, what are the other opportunities um, to my seniors. And one of the KGP alum, he was my senior. Uh, so he suggested that I should go for a master's degree, and then I started looking into that, and it felt like a really good option, and also broadened my horizons overall. Getting more uh, getting more opportunities, talking with others as well, and how to study. That's so that were some of his points, which made really good sense to me. So that's why I started, preparation for GRE and applications and get ready for the masters.
Did you also had to write TOEFL or IELTS?
No, I only gave GRE exam.
Okay, okay. So I guess those were waived for the colleges you chose at least. And how many colleges
Yes.
did you choose to apply? Like how many total number of colleges you filed your application for, roughly?
I filed for 10 applications. So they were from different tiers. So what how I chose my colleges were as per my CGPA and the recommendation letters I had. I had a good idea of which colleges I would get into. So I applied to those three, four colleges. Then I applied to the colleges that were a little bit above my level and a little bit below my level as a safety net.
Sure, sure. And how many offers you secured ultimately out of these 10 applications?
I got one offer from University of Colorado Boulder.
Okay, okay. So I mean one offer only you got, or you had like no other confusion.
No, I had no other confusion.
Okay, okay. So that made your
Yeah.
life easy. So finally you got
Yes,
one offer
definitely.
and then you decided that okay, I will go for this offer, right?
Hmm.
And then you started applying for let's say visa, etc. How was your visa application? Any hiccups happened?
There were no hiccups for me. Visa application was very straightforward. I got a university letter, which I had to produce, get, DS 160 done, and everything was very straightforward. My visa interview continued for like 30 seconds, and the only question the interviewer asked me was, "What is the mascot for, CU Boulder?" So that's the only question he asked. Everything else was very straightforward.
And they kept your passport, right?
Yes, so they kept my passport and I got back the passport within 1 week.
Sure, sure. Regarding the finances, you had to show like the full amount, 1 year or 2 year amount in your bank account as a readily available liquid fund, or you could show in other forms also.
So yes, readily liquidable form. So I did not have enough money in my bank account, and even my parents didn't have it. So my cousin sister, she had some funds, liquidable funds in her account. So we showed her as well as, combined with my parents and some of my funds as well. And that was acceptable for them.
Okay, okay, sure. So that's like a possibility for anyone, who doesn't have all the funds in one
Yes.
account. They can show like multiple accounts and probably have a letter that we are sponsoring her studies like that. Sure, sure.
Yes.
And how did you book your accommodation?
So once I got my admission secured, there was a Facebook account that I was randomly searching for. CU Boulder roommates or CU Boulder 2017 batch. So I found one Facebook group, and from there I found three other girls, and we were sort of we came together. We were asking each other questions for the similar background, and if they had found accommodation already. So that's how I met my roommates. And one of them had a really good lead. She had a few friends or her family members in US, so she knew how the accommodation works and how to get the leases, how to talk, like what questions to ask if you want to get any accommodation. So she was really good at that. So we basically took her help, and I sort of just went ahead with that.
Okay, okay, okay. So you found these two people through some groups and then finally decided to take the apartment together.
Yes.
Correct, correct. And which flight did you choose for your first journey to US probably?
Oh, okay. Uh, I thought it was British Airways.
Okay.
I don't really remember, but yes, I just remember there were a lot of British people on board, so I think it was British Airways.
I think you can remember the hostess and that's the way you can find which airline was that.
Yes. Yes.
And were you flying alone or you had like couple of people you found through some groups to fly together?
So luckily, uh, there was another cousin brother of mine, and we got into the same university at the same year. So he was there throughout the journey with me. So we applied separately. We didn't even know that we were applying, but once we got the admission, we told each other, and then from there on, we just started everything together, our visa journey and also getting the accommodation and everything.
Sure, sure, sure. So there was like this moral support for your parents, etc. That there is somebody like
Yes, huge moral support. That I did not feel that I was going to another country alone. I mean, my cousin didn't know either, but just having him by my side, it was a huge support for me.
it was at least like two people getting stuck in the same lift, not just alone.
Yeah, you can say that.
Sure, sure. And once you landed, which was the airport you landed in US that time?
Dallas.
And this was your first trip to US?
Yes, that was my first trip to US. So Dallas was our point of entry, and from Dallas we flew to Denver.
Okay, okay, sure, sure, sure. And this whole journey of yours from starting from Bombay, is it, or somewhere else?
Starting from Bombay.
Okay, okay. So you had like a layover probably in London if you took British Airways and then to
Yes, yeah,
Dallas
yeah.
and
So it was British Airways. We There was a layover at London. Then there was another direct flight to Dallas, and then Dallas to Denver. So it was in three hops because it was cheaper that way. There were some direct flights as well, and they were very costly.
sure, sure, sure. And how many days before you came there, like orientation kind of or a pre-orientation in your mind? When was your class starting and which day you landed? Like what was the gap like?
Right. So I took a very little gap because everything was done beforehand. My accommodation was done. One of my friends, she also got us the phone cards, the SIM cards for the phone. So I didn't have to do basically anything. So I landed there 2 days before my orientation to get off the jet lag. The orientation happened, and I think the next day our classes started as per the schedule.
Sure. Your cousin is also in the same course or different course, but the same college.
He was in a different course. He was in electronics.
Okay, okay, sure, sure, sure. So, like you belong to the KGP community, and there you came here. Did you find any KGP community locally or not much?
Actually, luckily, there was another couple who also came for masters at my year itself in CS, and they were from IIT Kharagpur. They were 1 year senior to me from math and computing, uh, and it was really great to see them. I actually got to know them accidentally around the days that I was about to leave for US. Um, And it was really good to have, that KGP support. You have some, known alumni. I knew I knew the girl. She was we shared the same SN hall. Um, so it was good overall support.
Sure, sure. So there is one more college there, Colorado School of Mines, where some geophysics people also go. You know about
Yes.
this? Like from IT Delhi.
Yes. So yes. Um so that college is in Golden, Colorado, which is not very far from Boulder. I think it's 30 minutes away from Boulder. And it's a really good college. It's one of the best colleges for mining. And there is one of my senior from geology geophysics who was finishing her PhD in somewhere in Europe. I don't know exactly where, but she came to the School of Mining, to present one or two papers to, collaborate, to have some research collaboration. So yeah,
Sure,
it
sure,
is one of the best colleges.
sure. And there is this cultural difference of cooking by yourself, cleaning by yourself, laundry by yourself. How did you get adjusted to this? Was it easy, hard, mid mid level?
It was it was not very hard. I always did things by myself. Even in Bangalore, I used to, do my own chores, except for laundry. But yes, everything else, because there is, you cannot hire help. You have to do everything by yourself, and also you have to take care of the finances. As a student, you have to, find better options for your accommodations, for laundry, because there are various other options as well, which require a lot of money. So with that, I just took a, I used to talk to other people as well from my batch who also didn't have a lot of money as a student. So we used to sort of collaborate, share, get something when, by sharing. So, and doing the laundry, it definitely takes a lot of time because you have to like fold the laundry and everything. So as a student, I used to, you have to manage it basically. You cannot just, uh, lag around, in that sense that you have to be on top of things, that you have your like you have your classes, you have to do extra reading because you are in master's degree now, you're not in bachelor's anymore. um, and there is a lot of loan, on top of your head. So it's basically, you have to get everything done. So I used to cook as well daily to save some money. I used to get very cheap coffee. I didn't used to get lattes or anything. I used to get like drip coffee because that was the cheapest. And then even outdoors, like if you have to eat something, then I would go for cheaper options. They were not really healthy, but for healthy food, I used to opt for cooking by myself. And then we used to share everything, like the groceries and everything was shared between the roommates. So overall, it was a cheaper option.
Sure, sure, sure. What about the part-time jobs and internships that you did in your study career?
Sure. So for as a CS student, I had really good opportunities to apply for various in-department jobs. So in the first in first semester, I was a grader. So grader is somebody who grades the assignments. So you have to attend weekly meetings with the professor and other TAs. They go through the syllabus, they go through the assignment, and then you also get a instructions how to grade the students. So my grading was not done offline. Like it was not just looking at the code and doing it. I had to book 10 minute slot per student and take their interview. Interview in the sense, explain me what you have coded for this assignment. If they are able to, explain it, then I used to give them some marks, and if they cannot explain, then 0 marks, something like that. So it was very time consuming. It used to take about 8 hours or something to complete the entire grading process for me. But it was good overall. I mean, anyway, the students have to work 20 hours part time as a part time job.
And you approached like some professor to give you this part-time job or the internship kind of thing?
Um, no, so there is a portal. For my university, there was a portal, and through the portal, you could apply for various jobs. So I applied to many other jobs, including grader position, and I got this one, luckily.
And this you continued for like one semester?
Yes, I continued this for one semester. After that, I got a TA position. So for a TA position, the professors interview you. They see if you have the capacity or the capability of explaining to an entire class. Um, and also if you have good knowledge about the subject that you are about to be a teaching assistant. So that is another way of getting a full-time scholarship. So being a TA, it helped me a lot financially. It also gives you premium healthcare insurance, um, and it gives you, at my time they gave me about $2,300 stipend monthly. So that was enough, for like more than enough for my rent, all the utilities, and also, if I have any other finances,
So
additional finances, I didn't
as
have
good
to
as
ask
a
for my parents.
PhD student stipend almost.
Yes, exactly. Just like a PhD student. So as a master's student, you also get a TA position and RA position.
Yeah. So you did only TA and like grader kind of, right? No
No, so
RA.
I was a TA for one semester, and then I was RA for the second year. So RA position was also very different. So there is a NIST lab, National Institute of Standard something. Sorry, I forgot the name. There is a NIST lab in Boulder, and they had a requirement of a software engineer, and they were ready to pay, the amount that they are going to pay for an RA, and also provide all the benefits that comes with it. So it was very easy for me because I was not really interested in research. I was mainly focused on, engineering. So it was a very easy project that I had to do for the NIST lab,
Sure.
and they basically provided for me my tuition and my healthcare for the next year.
Yeah, NIST stands for National Institute of Standards and Technology.
Standard 20. Yeah.
Sure, sure. And so only one semester you were like on your own, and rest all semesters, the 3 semesters or 4 semesters, whatever was left over, you had this TARA kind of thing that took care of all your expenses. So your master's was pretty much almost funded by you eventually.
Yes, definitely.
So that was a very good feeling in itself, right? That you are on your feet now.
Oh, yes, definitely. I mean, one thing I had in mind is I'm never going to ask for money to my parents, and that really helped in this situation.
Sure, sure. But other students, like let's say your fellow students, were they also able to manage some of them, or how was the variation like? You were like among the top two, three people who managed everything, and then there were rest who managed, let's say, half of it. How was the peer group like?
Yes. So there were many other, part-time jobs that students can take. So either you can work on, uh, you know, places like Subway or Panda Express. So those are the 20-hour part-time jobs you can do. And they pay as equal to as how much I got in grader job. So there is that, uh, you know, the financial difference between being a DA and having a part-time job, definitely. But you get these jobs on campus so that you don't have to travel very far, or you can also get some off-campus jobs as well. People give that to the students. I think you just have to produce some student ID, and you also get a social security number along with along with the job you're applying. So that is so getting all that is very helpful at the very beginning of your US journey, so that you don't have to, you know, wait for that to happen when you get a real job. Um, so yeah, so for students, they can either work outside. We also had a sort of like a cafeteria within the campus, and the students could work in various stations like Mexican food stations. So they actually went there and cooked food, and that was it was easy. I mean, it based on your skills definitely. But yeah, there are plenty of opportunities on campus for students who are not getting greater jobs.
You also did like a full-time internship in between, like a summer job kind of thing?
Yes, so after 1 year, I did an internship in a startup. It was in Boulder itself. So I applied to that job through LinkedIn, and also the very important part that my my team lead told me why they hired me is because they liked my cover letter. So it's very important that you write a very good cover letter about why do you want to apply to this company, how they are aligning with your interest, uh, and you know, just explain everything on the cover letter in one page, very concise, very short, and sorry, and that helps a lot. So always write a cover letter if you are applying for any kind of job. It really helps.
And you applied this job on LinkedIn only, right?
Yes.
Okay, so in LinkedIn job application, you added a cover letter which was as good as a statement of purpose kind of thing.
Yes. So the cover letter is as good as statement of purpose.
Correct.
But you have to be very concise, and you know, for the companies, they look mainly for the application, the applicability. So it has to make sense. It cannot come from the emotional standpoint. It has to be very practical and applicable.
Sure, sure. A shorter version of SOP, in a very, it's a practical version of
Yes,
the SOP kind of, no abstract thing.
yes, yes. No
And
abstract.
when you were applying to all these jobs, internship, etc., through LinkedIn, what was the rejection cycle like? How did you overcome that rejection things?
Yeah. So facing the rejection is hard. Uh, but in the undergrad, I had to go through a lot of rejection anyway when we were applying for jobs. So that was not new to me. But the best way to get over it is not taking it personally. Because sometimes the companies are not perfect. When they say that they have an opening, something might change, their financial situation might change, and they might cancel the job. Or instead of one intern, they can hire like two, three interns at a time. So it's really subjective. It also depends on the hiring manager. Hiring manager is the manager you're going to work with your for the 2 or 3 months of your internship. So that is um, so getting along with your hiring manager is also very important. So if hiring manager is preferring one candidate over you, it does not mean that you're falling short of your technical abilities. It's just that's how it is. Like that's how the things are. And you also have a lot of, you know, opportunities, a lot of other options that you can go for. And for an internship, I would suggest that just get any experience you have. Make sure that you're getting a full end-to-end project to work with, so that in your job applications you can tell them that this is one feature I handled and what became of that. So even after your internship, be in touch with your leads and keep asking them, hey, what is happening? And if that information is you know, not confidential, and if they are able to share it with you, then that's a really great opportunity for you to you know, say it in your real interviews.
Sure, sure. So after this, you are right now working with LinkedIn. So how did that happen? How did you find the job in LinkedIn?
I applied. On LinkedIn, definitely. LinkedIn obviously, exploits their own platform. So when I applied, luckily, it was uh, it was during right after the pandemic, and they were hiring profusely, um, and they were getting a lot of, like, they were opening a lot of jobs um, on various platforms. So on one of the platform, I saw that there was a job opening which aligned with my technical skills and also my interest. So I applied there. I immediately got a phone call from the recruiter, and we started the application, the job interviews and everything. And I got the offer within 2 months. So it
Sure,
was
sure.
a very fast journey. But again, like, the time was very lucky for me. Like, LinkedIn was hiring profusely at that time.
Yeah, sure, sure. And right now, so you're working like from home or you're working in the LinkedIn office? Which city are you based right now?
Sure. So I am in San Jose, California. Uh, I I go to LinkedIn office even before the RTO started. So RTO is return to office, where you have to go to office. So even before that, I liked going to office because LinkedIn's campus is really beautiful. So LinkedIn's headquarters is in Mountain View, where I'm working. So their campus is beautiful. They have good food. They have many cafes that serve different continental foods. They have boba teas, coffees. So it's a really good environment. At home, it's basically the same thing, the same environment. So it's a really good change of pace, change of environment. And personally, I like to go to office because I like to have in-person meetings with my colleagues. And with the RTO, return to office, I have to go to office 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And I really enjoy that because the work is really accelerated in comparison to working virtually.
Sure, sure. So, what are your future goals for the next few years as of now?
Well, it is a very difficult question to ask because even if I set myself a goal, something disruptive like generative AI is going to come and just disrupt my entire goal. So my goal is very abstract. My goal is to become a leader in the engineering field, and that leadership comes with having knowledge of various fields, various engineering fields. So it's really the problem that you want to solve that defines your career. So which problem do you want to solve? Do you want to solve at the very low level? In that case, you can stay as an individual contributor, and along the way you go, you can become a staff engineer, principal staff engineer. Or if you want to solve problems like, I want to manage a team, then you can become a manager and change your direction from engineering to management. So these are different streams that anybody can pursue. For me, I want to stay as an engineering manager. Uh,
Sure, sure, sure. So, you want to
yeah.
become like a team lead kind of thing, like a leader of the a small team at least,
Yes, a leader of a project.
a project leader. So right now
Yes.
you are more of a like under the project leader, like there is a project leader above you who's handling a team of yours, handling a project of yours.
Yes, definitely. I'm a software engineer, and I have a staff engineer who is leading a project. And there is a lot to learn. I see this difference in US versus India. That in India, you're spoon-fed, you're micromanaged, and here you're given this freedom, that this is the problem, now go however you want to solve, give us a solution. And they give you like good enough time. They don't micromanage a lot, and also they're very helpful. So it's just really a good team that you want to see, whether you want to find work with.
Sure. So coming to the very last question, what advice would you give to younger yourself or the people back in India or elsewhere who want to pursue higher studies, study abroad?
I would suggest that go for it. Do not, limit yourself with the financial issues. It can be managed. You can work here, you can come here, do the part-time jobs, and that is very normal for coming to US. But have this experience because it really broadens your horizons, it broadens your mind, it gives your life a new perspective. And even if you want to go back home, it is still a good opportunity, like still a good experience that you're carrying with yourself, and probably you can change the workspace in India. So definitely do
Sure, sure. And any advice on usage of LinkedIn for the teenagers?
it. For teenagers, I'm seeing that a lot of different types of um, algorithms are kicking in. I'm not really sure, but the best usage of LinkedIn is if you're doing any project on a small level. I would say put it on LinkedIn. Get it endorsed by your peers or your professors or your leaders. That's really important because that's how you build yourself, uh, you know, a brand of yourself.
Yeah,
Just
personal brand.
use LinkedIn. Yes, exactly. So use LinkedIn as your, uh, you know, personal brand journey, basically. So just
Sure, sure. Thank you very much, Sally, for your time and all your advice and also the LinkedIn advice. Being from LinkedIn, it might sound biased though, but I think this is a common advice I'm getting from other guests also. So thank you very much. Have a good day.
have a good day. Thank you, Ishan.
Bye.